Okay. Few changes in Zoom now. Hmm. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Today it's session number 29, the last session, and we will cover verse number 30. So yeah. Okay. So last time, like we will just revise the verse we discussed in the last session, which was verse 29, and it talks about the divine qualities that are required to pursue on this path. So, here in this world, some rare individuals with divine qualities gain supreme happiness, which is beyond bondage and liberation. So, we also discussed that this bondage and liberation is also a concept in the mind. It is because of wrong understanding. We are never bound, we are ever liberated, but because of wrong identification with body, mind, and intellect, we develop this feeling that I am bound, and whole life we are trying to acquire objects and positions of this world to expand ourselves. But 1 plus 1 plus 1 is never going to be infinite. So, but we never realize that that attempt itself is futile. So, the real solution is to understand your own true nature, which is Satchit Ananda, and it is ever liberated. So, no action is going to liberate you. Only correction of the understanding will make you realize that there is no bondage at all. So what is required is purification of the mind, and okay. And this is the shloka in Bhagavad Gita, which also talks about, like, it is very rare that some individual gets to this state. At the end of many births, the wise man comes to me, realizing that all this is Vasudeva, the innermost self, and such a great soul, Mahatma, is very rare. So, a shloka in Bhagavad Gita which has a similar meaning. And then we just went through, and again we will go through on, like, briefly about these qualifications. To say there are four qualifications. One is Vivek, power of discrimination; Vairagya, dispassion; and then there is the Shat Sampatti, which actually combines six qualities; and Mumukshatva. And if you actually look at it, this applies to any goal. We are talking about a spiritual goal of achieving liberation or correcting the understanding. But if you really look at it, this is applicable even to a material goal, the goal in this world also. Like, the first is Vivek, power of discrimination. And here I would say, I would interpret it as, this power of discrimination is required to discriminate between what will take me closer to the goal and what will take me away from the goal. So that discrimination is required. The second is Vairagya, which is dispassion, which actually, this is required once we discriminate between what will take me closer to goal and what will take me away from the goal. This dispassion is required so that we discard everything that is not taking us closer to the goal. And then it is followed by Shat Sampatti. Again, we will try to relate it to the worldly goal. And the last one is Mumukshatvam, yearning for liberation. Any goal you are trying to achieve, one needs to know, like, what is the value of this goal, and only then we will have a strong desire to achieve that goal. So that is what is Mumukshatvam. And Shata Sampatti, again, like, this is applicable to even a materialistic goal. One is Shama, control of mind, and in respect of worldly goal, we can say that one needs to exercise control of mind in order to stay away from everything which is taking us away from the goal. The second is Dhamma, control of senses. Again, this is required if we have to pursue any materialistic goal. And Uparati, withdrawal of the mind. And this happens when you are strongly inspired by any goal. Only then, and Uparati actually means like automatic or effortless withdrawal of the mind from everything that is going to take you away from the goal. So if you are highly inspired with this materialistic or any goal, only then you don't really have to exercise control of the mind. You are so inspired by this goal that you will automatically give up things which are a distraction in this goal. And again, like the example is like athlete who wants to win a gold medal in the Olympics. He gives up lot of things, gives up late partying, gives up junk food, gets up in the morning and does exercise. All that happens because he is strongly inspired to achieve that goal. So only when you are such inspired so much, then it becomes effortless and natural withdrawal of the mind. The third is titiksha, forbearance. So when you are trying to achieve a goal, you will have to go through lot of difficulties. So titiksha is that ability to withstand all these problems. And again, if you look at it, this is required even for a materialistic goal. Shraddha is faith. Uh, you can say on the knowledge, or you can say on the goal itself, because you are pursuing that goal with a faith that it will give you certain benefits. And one needs to have that strong faith on that goal, on my own capability as to I will be able to pursue that goal. And if you are taking guidance from some guru, then you need to have faith on that guru. And samadhan, the last one, absorption of the mind, that is focus on a particular thing. And in this respect, it is focus on the goal and focus on all the things that are required to pursue that goal and reach that goal. So like even though like it is this sixfold spiritual wealth as well as vivek, vairagya and shata sampatti is like for a spiritual goal. But if you are really pursuing a materialistic goal, then also you need to develop these qualifications. So this is about verse number 29, which says that very few people reach this goal. And this is verse number 30. अहमपेतकं निजविधानकं महादिदन्तपो रमणवागियम्. So some of the Sanskrit words, idam, which actually means this. And since in the last verse we were talking about self-inquiry, it relates to self-inquiry. Mahat tapas, great penance, apetakam, devoid of, aham, ego, Nijavidhanakam. So it says this self inquiry is the one which is revealer of self, and this is said by Ramana Maharshi. So this actually is said by Murugnam, the one who started on this text, and then he decided to seek help from Ramana Maharshi. And this last shloka is written by him. So he's saying, this is what Ramana Maharshi says. So let us read the commentary. Yeah, Chanda, you are there today, right? So just read out.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll read the one which is below the
Okay,
meanings
yes,
of
I
that.
forgot
Yeah,
that. So you can read that is this, yeah.
this self-inquiry. Okay, this self-inquiry, divide of ego, is a great penance which is the revealer of the self. This is the self-realized truth uttered by sage Ramana. To gain various types of worldly results, we need to perform different actions. Our experience shows that higher the goal, greater is the effort required to achieve it. We therefore believe that achievement of the supreme would require superhuman effort.
Yeah, read the next one also.
All right. Ignorance of the self is the cause of all our problems. Actions can never remove ignorance. To attain supreme happiness, we have to know our true nature. Knowledge arises as a result of self inquiry, which is itself a great penance. We cannot believe that the solution is so very simple and direct. From our Puranas and Itihasas, mystical literature and epics, we hear about sages who did severe penance for hundreds and thousands of years. By penance, we generally understand physical denial amounting to torture. Such austerity cannot give a person true joy and peace. Sometimes mental agitations increase due to the pressure of unfulfilled desires, and also the egoistic notion of being a great ascetic is strengthened.
Okay. So actually, this is talking about the same, like no amount of action can liberate you because you are not trying to acquire anything. You are like only trying to realize your own true nature, which was already there. You are Brahman, whether you like it or not, you accept it or not, you are Brahman. The only thing is, like, we have wrongly got identified with this body, mind, intellect, and forgotten our true identity. So, if there is nothing to be acquired, then no amount of action is going to realize the self. What is required is only the purification of the mind, and all the sadhanas that are described in the earlier shlokas, all of them, the main purpose is purify the mind. And only when the mind is purified, one will be able to perform this self inquiry. And in that respect, I think we had discussed this in some I think Atma Bodh. Like, what is the difference between all the sadhanas and meditation or this self inquiry? All the other sadhanas are done with a continuing with our wrong identification as body, mind, intellect. So we do it as body, mind, intellect, whatever you call it, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, all the puja, archana, bhajan, all that is with the notion that I am this body. Only when you are into meditation or this inquiry, we challenge this notion itself that I am body, mind, intellect. So if you are doing these sadhanas with the notion that I am body, mind, intellect, that wrong understanding is never going to be removed. Only when we get into meditation or self inquiry, we challenge this I, and that's why, like, only with self inquiry, that wrong notion will get removed. Okay. Yeah, Chanda, continue and
Yeah,
the entire thing.
all right. Give me a second. Yeah. Mental work requires greater concentration and is therefore subtler and superior to physical action. Even in mental work, thinking about objects, their relationships, qualities, and events is easier than thinking about abstract ideas and concepts. Thinking about the source of thought, which is beyond the thought, requires the greatest concentration. Self inquiry is therefore the highest penance. This type of austerity destroys the ego rather than nourishing and fattening it. It reveals pure self. Shall I continue?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Finish.
Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi was a great realized master of our time. He wrote this wonderful text from the heights of self realization. His words therefore reveal the same truth declared in the Upanishads, our prostrations to this great, noble, and divine soul. We pray to the Lord that we too may realize the truth that Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi reveals in Om Tat Sat.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so it actually talks about the flip side of other sadhanas too. Like all this, the basic purpose of this, like the goal of this path is to destroy this ego so that we realize who am I. But the flip side of all the other sadhanas is One is, as I said, it is done with the same ego, and there is a possibility that you may, instead of destroying it, you may strengthen that ego, and that will be an obstacle on this path. So, only when you inquire, you actually have a chance to destroy this ego. Okay, and yeah, this is like it says that the self inquiry itself is a great penance. So there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita which again talks about the same thing. And as I keep doing, like trying to relate it with Bhagavad Gita shloka, so this is 4.38. Nahi jnanena sadrusham पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति. In this world, there is nothing as purified as divine knowledge. One who has attained purity of mind through prolonged practice of yoga receives such knowledge within the heart in due course of time. Okay, so very similar. It again says the greatest sadhana is like acquiring this knowledge through, you can say, meditation or self inquiry. Okay, and yeah, just to revise like the entire path, like the problem is identification, wrong identification with the body, mind, and intellect. And this is very difficult to remove this wrong understanding because our mind is impure, it is filled with all kinds of impurities, and it is not able to focus. So the first problem of the mind is unfulfilled desires, which are called mala or vasana. And sadhana for this is karma yoga, which removes this vasana stains. And we saw what is karma yoga, like rising above self, rising above this ego, and doing all the actions for a higher cause. So the this unfulfilled desires create stains because all the time we are doing everything for my happiness, and as long as you are going to undertake action for my happiness, my selfish interests, these vasana stains are going to get strengthened. So, with Karma Yoga, when you perform this action for a higher entity and not for you yourself, your objective is to please Bhagwan, then like these vasana stains lose hold over you. Okay, so that is what is Karma Yoga. And we saw that if you have to practice Karma Yoga, if you have to do actions for a higher cause, you need to be alert and aware that anything you are doing is for a higher cause. And it becomes, so it requires some kind of effort, some kind of alertness. And in order to solve that problem, we need to pursue Bhakti Yoga, where you you develop devotion, love towards God. So when you are doing actions for God, if there is love, there is devotion, karma yoga happens automatically. It becomes effortless. Then we talked about Ashtanga Yoga, which is basically for tuning the body and the mind. Because, like, if you have to meditate, you will have to sit for long hours of time, you will have to have some control over the mind, and that's why one needs to pursue Ashtanga Yoga. And then, like, mind purification is going on. Along with that, you can pursue Jnana Yoga, which essentially consists of three steps: Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravan is like repeatedly listening to this knowledge. Manana is contemplation on that knowledge so that all the doubts are cleared, and that knowledge is no more only theoretical knowledge. You try to understand the logic behind it, and it becomes your knowledge. And Nididhyasan, that is meditation or self inquiry, is actually like experiencing this knowledge. Like we learn that I am not body, mind, intellect, but in meditation you try to experience this concept itself. And when you do that, like, and if the mind is pure, you are able to conduct this inquiry, who am I? And you will eventually, like, when you keep doing these steps, eventually this wrong understanding will be removed, ego will be destroyed, and you will realize your own true nature. Okay, so this is in short all the things that we discussed in this script, in this text. And like, to make matters simple, actually I could locate one video. Okay, and it actually again goes deeper into this inquiry, and it explains it very well. Okay, let me just start the, yeah, let me share that video.
You have meditated for years. You have practiced mindfulness, chanted mantras, and read every book on enlightenment. You have felt moments of profound peace, moments of clarity, but they always fade. The background noise of anxiety, the subtle feeling of being a person full of problems always returns. The spiritual search, which promised ultimate freedom, has itself become a new kind of prison. A subtle, constant effort. Why? Because almost every spiritual practice is designed to improve the seeker, to add peace, to gain knowledge, to build a better me. But what if the me who is seeking is the entire problem?
You don't need a second job. You just need to learn how to talk to AI.
So this is how I became the most dangerous person in the room.
In our last video, we introduced the great sage Ramana Maharshi. Today, we dive deep into the one singular practice he gave to the world. A practice so direct, it does not seek to improve the ego, it seeks to dissolve it. This is not another technique to add to your collection. This is the practice to end all practices. This is the power of self-inquiry. In the question, who am I? To understand why this practice is so powerful, we must first understand why our effort so often fails. When you sit to meditate, who is it that is meditating? It is the I. When you try to be peaceful, who is it that is trying? It is the I. This I, this sense of being a separate person, is the root of all suffering. And most spiritual practices inadvertently feed it. They give the I a new important job, the job of being spiritual. The ego loves this. It can now be a spiritual ego, proud of its progress, frustrated by its failures. But it is still the ego. Ramana Maharshi saw this flaw. His path is not one of accumulation, but of subtraction. It is not about becoming anything. It is about realizing what you already are, right now, beneath the illusion of the person. And to do this, he gave us a precision tool, a scalpel, not a hammer. He said, your duty is to be, and not to be this or that. I am that I am sums up the whole truth. the method is summarized in be still. But how do we be still when the mind is a raging storm? We do it by turning the mind's own energy back against itself. Ramana called this practice Atma Vichara, or self-inquiry. And it begins with the one thought that is the source of all other thoughts, the I thought. Pay attention. This is the practical core. Every other thought, I am happy, I am angry, I need to pay bills, I am afraid. All of them rises after the initial thought, I. The I must first exist to experience these other states. So, Ramana's practice is to trace this root, I thought, back to its source. Here is the step-by-step method. Step 1. You are sitting quietly. A thought arises. I am worried about tomorrow. Step 2. Instead of following the story of the worry, you stop and you ask the first question. To whom has this worry appeared? The answer is obvious. It appeared to me. Step 3. This is the moment. This is the pivot. You then turn the full force of your attention onto that me. And you ask the ultimate question, who am I? Now, this is where 99% of people fail, and why this practice feels frustrating at first. Your mind, the ego, will immediately try to answer the question. It will say, I am consciousness. I am a soul. I am a good person. I am John. I am a father. These are all answers, and they are all lies. They are just more thoughts, more concepts, more labels. Ramana was clear. The question, who am I, is not really a question. It is a tool to focus the mind and turn it back on itself. It is not a mental question seeking a mental answer. It is a tool of attention. So, what do you do when you ask, who am I? You do not look for an answer. Instead, you turn your attention inward to feel the very sensation of I. The naked, raw feeling of existence before you label it. Think of it this way. The I thought is a thread. Your job is to gently hold that thread of I feeling and follow it back inward into the darkness to find the spool it is coming from. You are diving when you ask, who am I? It is like taking a deep breath and plunging beneath the surface of the mind. You are sinking, sinking, sinking. Following that feeling of I deeper and deeper into the silent stillness of the heart. And Ramana did not mean the physical organ, but the spiritual center of your being. What happens when you do this? The I thought, the ego, it cannot survive this investigation. It is a phantom that only exists when you are not looking at it. The moment you turn your full, concentrated attention on it, it begins to dissolve. Of course, you will fail. You will be distracted. You will ask, who am I? And 2 seconds later, you will be thinking about what to have for dinner. This is not a failure. This is part of the practice. Ramana's genius is what he said to do next. When you realize you are lost in thought, you do not get angry at yourself. You do not try to force the thoughts away. You simply use that moment as a new trigger. You ask, to whom did this dinner thought arise? To me. Who am I? And you dive again. Every single thought, every emotion, every distraction is no longer an enemy. It is a fresh invitation to dive. Ramana said, if other thoughts arise, one should not pursue them, but should inquire. To whom do they arise? As other thoughts arise, one should inquire in this way, to whom do they arise? What will happen? The thought will disappear. The mind will eventually get exhausted. It will grow quiet. Because you are no longer feeding the thoughts, you are starving their root. If this is making sense to you, if you feel the simple, direct power of this path, then help us continue this work. The Silent Way is a community dedicated to this one profound realization.
You're not eating onions wrong. You're destroying them before they help you. Let's be blunt.
By giving this video a like, you are signaling that this wisdom is important, helping it reach others who are still trapped in the seeker's trap. And by subscribing and clicking the bell, you are not just joining a channel, you are making a commitment to your own liberation. We are all on this path together. Your engagement makes this possible. This practice is not easy. It requires persistence. But it is direct. You are not waiting for a future event. You are not trying to become enlightened. You are actively dismantling the illusion of the one who is not enlightened right now. So, what happens when you do this? What happens when the I thought is traced back to its source and dissolves? Even for a moment, you don't find an answer. You find an absence. The absence of the problem maker. The absence of the seeker. The absence of the person. And in that vast, open, silent absence, what remains? Peace, stillness, a profound, unshakable sense of being. You don't find the self. You find that you are the self. And you always have been. The ego was just a shadow, a phantom, a case of mistaken identity. As Ramana Maharshi said, in the end, what is called liberation is nothing else than to know one's own self. The practice is not the goal. The practice is the scalpel to remove the one and only illusion. The invitation is here. The tool is in your hands. The only question that remains is, who am I?
Okay.
Oh, that was a good video.
Yeah, very nice actually.
Yeah.
It, again, like explains step by step what is to be done. So it is not a question to be answered, who am I? It is to be used to hold on to that I and get on with your search, keep getting deeper and deeper. It also talked about that idam thought and aham thought. So hold on to that aham and keep going deeper and deeper. Very nice video.
Beautiful video.
Yeah, very nice.
But Viraj, you can't do this alone by yourself. When you
You have
listen to the
to. You don't
videos,
have a
you
choice.
say, all right, I'll do. But when you start half a minute, you get lost in what was
Yeah,
said.
but that's what it says. Don't take it as a
Mm,
problem. Use that again to hold on. Like whatever
mm.
thought has come to you, you have to ask like to whom this thought has come. And again,
But
you
several thoughts come, no, together, Viraj.
see, unless the mind
Uh,
is purified, it's not
yeah,
like
I
it's
think that
not
is
that
the
all
most
other
important.
sadhanas are not
Mm-hmm.
required. Just pursue this. That also is not the way.
Mm-hmm.
If the mind is pure, see, when I say mind is not purified, mind is full of thoughts. Okay, first step is like reduce the reduce the thoughts and learn to quieten the mind, and that will happen with this karma yoga and bhakti yoga. So once the mind is habituated to getting into that state, then only you can do inquiry. So
Hmm.
very good. Yes.
Very nice video.
Yeah, very nice. I
Yeah,
mean,
very,
I
very
really
well.
liked it.
And he's done the narration also very well.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Very nice. Yeah, so we will start like we will take maybe 1 week break
Mm-hmm.
and then start on Uddare Tatmane Atmanam. Just
Mm-hmm.
to give a background, like, yeah.
We've done that,
Uh,
no?
yes, we had done that
Uh-huh.
like 6 years
But
back during
yeah, yeah,
COVID.
yeah. No problem in repeating it.
We have to again and again Uddara.
Yeah, yeah. So we will
Before
have
it-
the next session on the 1st of April or
No,
8th of
not
April.
1st of April.
8th
Maybe
of
after
April.
that. Yeah, yeah,
8th of April. That's what I can see on my calendar.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a background, this is about Bhagavad Gita, and I always believed that probably there are two parts in Bhagavad Gita. See, if you look at the background, Arjuna was not looking to realize itself. He had a problem at hand, which is to win the battle. Okay, so when Bhagavan Krishna started the Upadesh, he started at a very high level as to what is Atma and all that. But probably he realized that he needs to come down a bit and help Arjuna first of all to solve this problem. So, if you think that this world is real and like you may have learned like through scriptures and all that world is an illusion and all that, but if you don't experience that, it is not going to change your behavior. So you keep listening to this, but still you are not convinced that world is illusion, world exists, and you want to do well in this world. You have to achieve success in this world. Then there is a path which is the Suddharet Atmana, which will be very light on actually spirituality and more on practical implementation of Bhagavad Gita to achieve success in this world. And I think Arjuna did the same thing because at the end of it, like he didn't become a self-realized soul.
Remember,
He,
Huh.
yeah.
during fitness session, if you want, we can schedule it. We'll get back to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
he actually wanted to do away without fighting with them, run away from the battlefield, and he
yes.
wanted to go to the Himalayas. So
That
he
was
brought in.
initial thought, but then
Correct.
like Krishna
Mm,
told him that like just by running away, your mind is not going to get
mm,
over with the battle. So, so he showed him the way as to how he can improve his mind and he's able to fight this war. And like war is symbolic, we also have our little battles in life. We have to achieve certain goals. So that is one way where if you think that world is real and you want to achieve success in this world, you can like follow that path and for those who have realized that it is actual experience that this attempt of gaining happiness is a futile one, I need to find some other solution where I am per like eternal I get infinite eternal happiness. Then there is spiritual path which says that world is an illusion, you yourself are also an illusion, so try to find who you are. Okay, so two paths. One for those who believe that world is real and want to achieve success in this world, and others who are fed up with the world. No amount of success in this world is going to give you that supreme happiness. So that is the other spiritual path, which is Ramana Maharshi's path, I can say. Gita Sar. So he picked up verses which are like totally spiritual, full spiritual, whereas Uddharet Atmane will be the other. Like it will not have so much spiritual verses. It will have verses which will help you in achieve excellence and success in this world. Okay, because whatever we can say, like we still have a belief that the world exists, and like we have to do well in this world also. Okay, so it is that other path. Okay,
Viraj, this
yeah.
video is by one Robert Adams, as it shows. The translation is in German.
Okay,
Does he
maybe.
have any other videos also like this? Any
No,
idea?
that channel you can subscribe.
He
Yeah.
said, na, subscribe, but there was no subscription button, Viraj.
No, there should be. Hi,
No,
yeah, it
I
is
couldn't
there.
see it. I
It
couldn't
is
see it.
there. Yeah, I'll share.
Please
Okay.
share it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was very simple. Means,
True,
had
true.
we had the doubt, he touched that point. No?
Yeah. Okay, let me share. Now I have like gone to the earlier this thing.
Or you can just send it to us, na, on WhatsApp.
Arey, what happened? Okay. Yeah. See, there is subscribe button. Can you see? The silent way is the name of the channel where you have to subscribe.
Yeah. I got it.
Correct.
Join and subscribe.
But can we subscribe from here?
No, not now. Like you
Then?
will have to go to YouTube and search for this video
Yeah.
or the
Okay.
channel, the silent way.
Silent way. I think we search
Then
for the channel
subscribe.
Silent Way. Yeah.
It doesn't actually show the name of the person.
Hmm.
It's at least this
No,
doesn't
but
have.
Mr. Sundaram has written down Robert somebody.
Is it? Okay.
Robert Adams.
Robert
Okay.
Adam.
Maybe like if you go to that channel, it will give you all the information. But at least
Yeah.
here it doesn't say that. The channel is the silent way.
Hmm.
So search for that and you can subscribe. There are a lot of videos. Yeah. In this channel, there are a lot.
I was curious because I know some German. I was parallelly reading it.
Oh, okay.
I was curious.
Okay. So you could figure out it German. I couldn't. Hmm. Yeah. So then we will start with this Uddharet Atmane.
But
And
this was a wonderful text. Huh? Thank you. Very nice.
yeah,
Which one?
An easy way. Only thing is direct, easy way, but we are not able to. Means we feel we are almost there, but then we fall down.
You make it sound simple, which is very difficult.
Yeah, but this video was quite reassuring. It says,
Yes,
like,
yes.
don't consider that as a
Right.
problem. Like,
Right.
use
That's
it
why I
as a
like the
prop
video.
and get deeper.
Mm,
Yes.
mm, mm.
That was really reassuring because we get fed up with these thoughts and we feel,
No, the technique is very nice. He says,
yes,
create a loop and go back to the I only.
yes. So that video was like really good.
Yes,
It
very
actually,
nice. Very nice.
yeah, we all of us, I think, have that problem. We try to do that and then get caught up with the thought.
Other things,
Yes,
yeah.
that is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I want to say one thing.
And then
Yeah.
fall down.
Yeah. I was reading something, Swami Swarupananji has started that way. Once a week, he's giving a talk. In that, he has said that this person who's narrating what is happening in the battlefield to his this one, what was that Duryodhana's father.